the recording now. And
Ina was from Ukraine.
yeah, yeah.
Ina was from the Ukraine. I wanted to support Ukraine in some way, shape, and that had nothing to do. I know Ina didn't pass anything along to the Ukraine, but I wanted to make a statement.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and officially begin. We'll do it in 3, 2, 1. Amy, John Thornton, BookkeeperSA with Amy Phillips of TriStar CPAs. We have known Amy for a number of years now. I actually reached out to you. I don't know if you recall, but I reached out to you to ask you about accounting kinks. And
Yes.
Dan Dytrop and how he was doing. And we got to talking about bookkeeping and our lives. And you decided to give us a couple of clients. And but before we begin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and your firm's name, and what y'all do?
Okay. Well, my name is Amy Phillips, and I'm the owner of TriStar CPAs. I have a partner who's Dumkalani Fuoshi. She's from Nigeria. I love working with international people, and anyway, it's just a really good match for me. I've lived abroad and enjoy a different view of finances. Because of that, I think financial need is something that can be very cultural, and I knew that I needed a partner that was a good fit for me that way. So anyway, we started this little firm about 13 years ago, and we were fully remote. The pandemic hit, it didn't bother us.
Yeah.
We were fully remote, and I was working a full-time job at the time. And anyway, Kelly has her own book of business in addition to being a partner in this firm. So anyway, after the pandemic, I decided to focus solely on this practice. It was pretty much a tax practice at that time. I had a few bookkeeping clients, but I wanted to grow the bookkeeping, and I wanted to grow my tax and make it my full-time job. So since the pandemic, that's been my effort to do that. And I've grown because I'm an older CPA striking out on my own. I had to take I have a short runway to do that. And so I took a shortcut, and I did it through mergers and acquisitions. It's gone really well for me. I do think it was not the easiest path, maybe not the best financial outcome to do it that way, but it was the path that was before me. It was the one that I could do, and I'm glad that I did it. So I had just purchased a block of business that ended up being quite a bit larger than I thought I was buying. And so that's when John and Ina came my way. Of course, the Ukraine war was in full force at that point. I was very supportive of Ukraine and all of that. And when Ina said she was from Ukraine, I was like, I'm in. You're mine, and thank you, Jesus, for sending John and Ina to me, because I was a bit desperate at that point in time. So they took a couple of my larger clients that were not related to this other the business I had acquired, but were ones that I was not being able to give the kind of attention to because I was onboarding this other block of business. So they really helped me stabilize my existing block while I onboarded these others. And it's been a really good relationship. I've been very happy with the relationship, and Ina can work very independently. And John's good with analytics and graphing and that sort of thing. So that's been an add-on. I didn't expect that.
Well, thank you. So as a CPA, and of course the owner of TriStar CPAs, or one of the partners in TriStar CPAs, you're ultimately responsible for your final numbers. So what are the risks you take when you have a client who has messy and DIY bookkeeping? What challenges do you face as a CPA when you see that?
It's really hard to price, and we've never, only one client in 12 years have I ever looked at their books, a do-it-yourself set of books, and said, oh, you've done a great job. I think you should keep doing your books. And that was just within the last 6 weeks that I've met that client. So, and he's from Italy.
Okay.
So he's Italian.
Double bookkeeping started.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's done a fabulous job with his books. There's a few things we told him he needed to look at, but other than that, I'm like, he's knocking it out of the ballpark. But I've never seen a client. I've never had a client come that had a clean set of books, even if it came from another CPA.
Yeah.
There's always something about a set of books, and there's wiggle room in how you keep a set of books. It doesn't have to be the way I do it,
Yeah.
but it does have to adhere to a certain level of gap standards. And I think it's difficult to know. It's difficult to price those out. If it's a do-it-yourself, we charge a flat fee right off the bat, and it's more than they want to pay, and because it's a huge risk. To take on a client that's been doing their own books, and it's just always more than what they think. They think their books are good, and so anyway, we roll, if the books are better than we think, we roll forward some of that flat fee into ongoing services to cover, offset some of those costs. And if it's worse than we think, you know what, we've priced it wrong, and we bite the bullet, and that's that.
So entrusting your own clients' books to a third-party bookkeeping firm like BookkeeperSA requires an immense amount of trust. So what are your biggest concerns when we first came on board, and what ultimately made you decide to partner with us?
Well, you just never really know who someone is until or their skill level, until you've actually seen it. So, you know, we didn't see Ina's books or your books, John, as something that we hadn't seen your work output enough to know if you would be a good fit. Have you seen this industry? Would you know what to do with this? And you took a couple of my nonprofits, which I think Ina was interested in, you know, building a block of nonprofit. I think she was interested in that work. So, but nonprofits are unique. They're a little bit of a unicorn in the bookkeeping world. So, I didn't know how she would do. I felt like she was a good people person. I felt like my clients would connect with her, and I was going to watch the work and connect with Ina to help support the quality of the work that she was producing. At some point, I stopped looking because she just did a good job. And if she didn't know, she reached out with questions. So if someone's questioning, if they're not questioning, I worry. If they are questioning, I'm happy.
Okay.
So
good. So what do you expect from a bookkeeper, and how does BookkeeperSA meet those expectations?
Yeah, so I expect a bookkeeper to know how to keep a balance sheet.
Yeah.
Full stop. If they don't know what to do with a balance sheet, I don't want to work with them. So that balance sheet is everything, and that's what you lose with a bookkeeper. A lot of times they don't keep the balance sheet. They keep the P&L. The client knows what to do with the P&L. Yeah. But a set of books is no good without if the balance sheet's missing, it's not a good set of books. So, you know, when I see a bookkeeper that's actually treating the balance sheet like it needs to be, then there's someone I want to work with, and I'll keep.
Yeah, and that's actually Ina's credo. She says that she start with the balance sheet. You get the balance sheet correct, and once the balance sheet is correct, then 90% of the profit and loss is going to be correct, and it's all just a matter of opinion. It doesn't matter. IRS doesn't care if you classify Google as a marketing expense or software or web design or whatever, but they definitely want that balance sheet to be 100% correct, and that's where we start, and making sure that our books are, CPA ready, as we call it. So we're essentially an extension of your firm. How has our team's professionalism and communication with your clients reflected back positively on your CPA practice?
Well, I gave you two challenging clients. So they have had only good things to say about the work that you've done and your availability. It's really hard to, sometimes accessibility is the biggest point of disgruntledness that a client will have with a CPA firm or a bookkeeper. They just can't get a hold of them. When they do, they can't get an answer. Yeah. They maybe have time to ask the question, but then where's the answers? 2 months later is too late. So I think, you've been very responsive, and you've taken a couple of my more difficult clients that are more challenging. They are not difficult, but their financials are difficult. They're challenging financials. So, and you've been willing to go above and beyond just here's your books, see you later.
Yeah.
You really have dug in to understand these two clients who are about as quirky as they come. They're not my only quirky ones, but you've really helped me hold their price to a point that they can, that makes it sustainable for them. And because you're efficient, you work efficiently, I think it's been a good price point for you as well. And it's been very stable, and clients like stability. And I think that you've really helped me retain the clients that I have given you. And you've had more than the two that you have now, but the other ones were small, and I don't think they were, I actually, I want Ina to be, I want her to have an acumen with nonprofits, so I can, if we have larger nonprofits, I know she can take it. I know she can do it. If it's a kind of a leggy company that's got a lot of arms, a lot of initiatives, a lot of different types of things, I think she can take it. And works very independently and produces good work. So I'm very, very pleased with her idea of quality is very much aligned with mine. I don't have to wonder, is she producing good stuff? If it's bold, if she doesn't know, she asks, and if I don't know, I research. And I think she researches too. So together, it's been a good partnership.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I know that for one of the clients, there's a journal entry that's, I think, like 25 lines long, et cetera. And I have a 10-tab Excel spreadsheet instructing us how to fill in each of the different aspects of that specific journal entry, and downloading the reports for it. So I really appreciate the compliment. Let's see. So beyond tax prep, how does having clean real-time financials from us help you be a better, more proactive advisor to your clients throughout the year?
Mm-hmm. Well, it helps my clients grow.
Okay.
And so having a clean, you can't really grow if you don't know what your current state of business is. So I feel like my clients have benefited. And I've benefited, our firm has benefited certainly, but beyond that,
yeah,
our clients have benefited from having a clean set of books that is, that gives them the information they need to make the decisions that they need to make. And not every client needs that, but the ones I give you do. So I'm happy to have you in my back pocket.
Awesome. And I think we touched a little bit on this one. From a technical CPA to bookkeeper standpoint, what do you appreciate the most about the quality of our work? I think you mentioned the balance sheets. Is there anything else?
Yes, I think you're good with people. I am all about, I'm all about people
Mm-hmm.
and quality, but you can have there's a hard edge to perfection that's not good.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think perfection is the best way to go. Clients cannot afford perfection. So what do you give them? You give them a relationship that delivers a product that they can use, that's usable. Is it perfect? No, it never will be. If the IRS audits, they're always going to find something. So you get hung up on that, or I mean, it's a balance, and it's not just the product; it's the relationship and having access to that person. Not to abuse that,
Yeah.
but it's a conversation, and it's never one way or the other way. It's a dance that you do, and I like the way Ina interacts with my clients. Bottom line, and they're happy, and I'm happy. And is it a lot of work to get them where they need to be? Yes, it is. It's skilled work, and Ina does it, and she's pleasant. And you're there, John, supporting and leading initiatives, and so it's good. You're not a stagnant pair. You're both moving forward in a way that is building your skill set and building your acumen and building relationships and delivering good quality work. So it's a balance that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone who gets hung up on perfection. It's just a dead end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I just have one more question here. What would you say to another busy CPA who's trying to manage all of their clients' bookkeeping in-house and they're overwhelmed and bottleneck and are debating as to whether or not to take on BookkeeperSA to help them? What would you tell that person?
Well, I would tell them that if they want to scale, they have to resolve that problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem. They can work themselves into the ground. I mean, accounting work will do it to you for sure. But and if they don't plan, that's where they will end up. They'll end up in the burnout heap. So I don't know. Pull in as many, BookkeeperSA is one tool, one resource. There are other resources, but BookkeeperSA is a safe resource that does good work and is relational in the way they process the work. So it's the balance that I want, not just with BookkeeperSA, but internally with our internal bookkeepers. Other tools are not necessarily at that balance. It's different. It's colder in some way. It's more calculated in some way. And I prefer a little bit of a softer touch.
I know exactly what you mean. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I'm very thankful that you would want to work with TriStar CPAs. I'm thankful and honored that you would partner with us. And I feel like you've brought something very valuable to the firm. And I'm just very pleased with the relationship. And I hope that we've been able to provide something of benefit to you as well.
You have. We truly enjoy it as well. We do. We do. All right. Well, Amy Phillips, TriStar CPAs, I truly thank you for your time. And we'll just continue a little bit beyond this. Let me click on the off button. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you.